While I'm here, do one more video that was just sort of on my brain. Um, I know I just talked about don't watch social media, but again, I watched this just a little bit before I watched this video with Dr. Lee, where he says, don't in the first hour get into any social media, text, emails, all that stuff, because it messes up your hormone levels in the morning when you're trying to set the right morning routine, of course, to burn fat, be happy, and be stress-free throughout the day and do it in the right order, really. But I did watch one or two videos about how people in America are upset about the halftime show with Bad Bunny. I'd never heard of Bad Bunny. I heard the announcement that he was the halftime show, and I remember going, "Who the hell is that?" I don't know. Maybe he was big. He's been big in the U.S., and I just hadn't really heard much about him living down here in Australia. So I didn't really know who he was. And so I was surprised when I heard that announcement, months before the Super Bowl actually happened, that he was the halftime show, because you always expect to be a big name that, everyone's going to recognize. I believe last year it was, Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre, or maybe that was the year before, but it's always somebody big, rock artists, rap artists, country artists. I mean, yeah, surprised. Even the beginning of the Super Bowl, they had Green Day. And I was like, well, these guys are huge. Who's this Bad Bunny guy? Like, Green Day's, they're epic from the 90s for sure. So I didn't know what to expect with Bad Bunny. I was curious. And so I watched the halftime show, and yeah, turns out he's Puerto Rican, and all the music he did was in Spanish. And in my mind, as I'm watching, I'm like, oh God. Here we go. First of all, I'm totally cool with an all Spanish halftime show, and an artist from Puerto Rico. What's the issue? I'm sure we've had British artists and stuff like that halftime show, and music's of all type. When I think back, we've had pop, we've had rock, we've had rap, we've had country, and it's always been fun and good and entertaining to see what each artist brings to the halftime show. But this was, a little more diverse for America and the Super Bowl. And so you have apparently people like mad about it, saying, oh, I can't believe there was not one word of English in the halftime show. Get over yourselves. First of all, it's music. Music comes in all forms of languages. Some music has no lyrics whatsoever. And again, it's music, it's entertainment. And we're a diverse nation in the United States. As I heard on one of these videos, there's over 50 million Americans that Spanish is their first language. And many more Americans can speak Spanish as a secondary or third language, or however you want to say it, as an extra language on top of English. So there's no issue there. Many Americans would get it, but even so, it doesn't mean you can't watch it and enjoy the show. The dancing was a big party. Some interesting visuals with it looks like sugar canes and power poles and people dancing on that, and just a lot of sort of salsa dancing kind of stuff going on. And I like the diversity of it. I like the fact that the NFL diversified itself and brought an artist that is quite a different sort of background from the typical American thing. And again, what's typical American? Because again, we have country, rock, rap. They're all very different genres, different bands. And Americans in general love diversity. They're eclectic. They love good music, period. And so I feel like maybe the right side, the conservative side, just saw it as a talking point. Maybe it was just the politicians and the podcasters on that right side just sort of using it as some sort of like thing. But it sounds super racist, guys. Like, if you're complaining about Bad Bunny in a 15-minute thing, and that there was no English in it, that sounds really racist of you. It really does. So grow up is my first reaction to you guys. Like, get over yourselves. It's a Super Bowl halftime show. Diversity of music and culture is literally a part of the United States of America. It's always been about bringing in different backgrounds and classes and languages and religions and everything. We have the freedom of all those things, and embracing them is is the right way to go. Is that's my point. It's really about unity in diversity should be our approach, regardless of what political background you come from. But you idiots that are criticizing the fact that we had Bad Bunny as a halftime show and watched Kid Rock in their American halftime show, that was really, honestly, pathetic of you guys. Again, I'm not liberal. I'm not conservative. I would never identify as either. I'm a human being. I'm a unique individual, and I will not affiliate with either side because, to be honest, that system is part of the problem. It's a disunifying system. We shouldn't have two political parties, and then people deciding that their identity is based on one of those. That's disunifying and a part of the problem. But to the point here that you guys are complaining about that it's really pretty pathetic and really racist, to be honest. If you guys can't handle a different language, get over yourself. Living in San Antonio, Texas for 3 or 4 years, I don't know. I know a lot of Spanish, I realize. Living over here, I realize I actually have just absorbed over the years tons and tons of Spanish words. It's not like I can speak Spanish very conversationally, but I know random words like cheese. Everybody knows queso. Like, you just absorb Spanish words more than any other language beyond English, of course. I know Spanish words better. I have vocabulary for Spanish better than any other language. And so it's helped me throughout life, just chatting with people of all different backgrounds who have Spanish as a language. Because Spanish is spoken all over the world in different parts of the world. And so I just want to say to you guys, get over yourselves. Come on. It's, first of all, a halftime show, but it's a beautiful part of recognizing that diversity. And Puerto Rico is really the 51st state. Kind of wish we'd or actually taken it as the 51st state. Thought that would have been cool, but like we've always sort of looked at Puerto Rico as the 51st state, even though technically I guess it's a part of the United States. It's overseen by the United States. They just never made it the 51st state, but it's very much connected to the United States for many years now, and we need to embrace the Puerto Ricans as part of the greater American life and citizen. And so I really applaud the NFL for bringing Bad Bunny as the halftime show. I think it aligns with the NFL's goal to be more universal, more international. Maybe it's just for money, but of course they're playing a lot of games and apparently even more next year in different parts of the world. Like they did Brazil and London and Germany, I believe, and many other places. And they're going to do even more next year. And so I'm curious to see if the NFL is going to try and actually start having teams in the other parts of the world. And that would be really cool. I saw videos of people watching the NFL here in Australia, in London, in Germany. So the NFL definitely has its fans across the planet. And it would be interesting to see if that somehow the NFL could actually grow into other countries, like have a Canadian team or maybe a Mexican team. That would be really cool. And then even a London team and stuff like that. So as technology gets better, as transportation gets faster and more efficient, why not? If we can travel between cities parts of the planet in this case, faster, then we could definitely have teams across the planet. I mean, they do it with soccer to some degree, so why can't we do it with the NFL? And that would be just as unifying and taking us one more step closer towards a one world nation. We are human beings on the same planet. And this idea of just being nations to ourselves is, first of all, just wrong. We're already interconnected. Our economies are hands down interconnected. Everything in your house, your room, your phones, everything comes from multiple places on the planet. We are an interconnected society. We just necessarily don't realize it. We'd like to think ourselves as one specific nation and think ourselves in terms of that. But everything is interconnected. The United States is a big part of the world, of course, big influence. It's the biggest economy period on the planet. But it's the same with China, Japan, Australia, Britain. Like every country is like an organ in the human body. And if one gets damaged, it affects us all. So we can influence each other, work with each other as a human body, and the organs within one human body need to function correctly with one another, or we can basically fight each other, which would be silly. Why would the heart fight the lungs and fight the stomach and fight the intestines? Like, it's silly. It's why Russia fighting Ukraine is silly. It's why, um, people in the Middle East fighting one another from different religious points of view and blah, blah, blah. So it's not the right attitude for us to have. We need to, first and foremost, just see that we're human beings on the same planet Earth. We're diverse human beings with different religions and backgrounds and languages and so forth, but it doesn't change the fact that we're all share the same attribute, which is we're human beings, we have a soul. And so just realigning your mindset to think of the world and everybody in it as your fellow brothers and sisters, as your one human family, will break down those barriers of nationality, culture, language, everything, religion, and at least at the very level, united on that one simple level that we're the same human race. And then everything else is enjoyable. It's the diversity of the individuals from there within our human race that we embrace, see them as different flowers in one big garden, and that the different flowers bring more sense, more color, more beauty to us as a human race when we're together. No reason to separate the flowers into one color or one odor. That's boring. And it's happening whether you like it or not, my friends. We are diversifying as a planet, as a human race. So again, get over yourselves, guys. Enjoy and embrace the diversity of the human race, and have fun today. Bye, my friends.